Alright, hey everyone, welcome back, and we've got another support episode. I think I've been considering on whether I should do this or not again, because it does have to do with the Empire, but honestly, I don't think people want me to keep them waiting for this episode that long, and yeah, that's my main reason. I might still do it, I haven't decided yet, but I think I've gotten all the supports I need for an episode, so I think I'll go ahead and start with, Linhart has a... Sure, we'll start with Linhart and Marianne.
These ones look good. I probably shouldn't pick them, though.
Ah, Marianne. Harvesting the crops?
You know, I get it's because of scale, but you would think the greenhouse would be a lot bigger for an area as large as Garrigmach.
Oh, yes, Linhart.
And I've been wondering if anybody can gather plants here. You know, like you don't have to be an official staff member.
I found which vegetables are ripe and ready, but would you mind picking them for me?
Oh, really?
See, you've mistaken me for someone who sticks his hands in the dirt.
Yeah, I was wondering, why would she ask him?
I'm just afraid that if I touch them, well...
Bad luck?
Oh, I see. You're afraid everyone who eats them will suffer bad luck.
I didn't know it went that deep.
Yes, it's true. I wouldn't want anyone else to suffer because of me.
I mean, again, like I said, she really needed her paralog to clear that up, but...
Marianne, that's simply not the way the world works. You see... Oh, forget it. Tell me which ones to pick.
He's learning.
Thank you so much, Linhart.
Happy to help, but I'm beat. You'll have to carry them yourself, so take them straight in, okay?
Okay.
Oh, actually, before I go, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Well, in theory, you've earned it, but I'm not sure if she'll be willing to answer it.
I've been thinking, isn't it more the case your crest brings happiness rather than bad luck?
Oh, Linhart! That's a nice way to put... Okay.
Happiness? I don't understand.
Yes, happiness. Because your crest is so rare. It excites my mind and, well... If not for your crest, we might never have met.
Huh.
And I feel that would be a tremendous loss.
Really?
Backbreaking as it was, I enjoyed today. I'm quite happy right now, and it's due entirely to your crest.
Linhart, that is such an excellent way of spinning it.
I suppose so when you put it that way, but
It's a huge breakthrough to know that your crest causes happiness instead of bad luck.
Though, he is speaking a bit on... because it won't help her back at home. I mean, it's a nice way of spinning it, but fact remains she's treated the way she is treated back home.
I'd love to study it thoroughly, but only if you'd agree. Really, I just want to find a way for your crest to bring you happiness too.
But alright, there you go.
I'm sorry, but I can't. I have to decline.
I understand. May I ask one more thing, though? Could you please hand me one of those vegetables?
I don't think that's a good idea, but if you insist.
One of the vegetables from the actual garden?
Thank you, Marianne. I think this looks like a very lucky vegetable.
Linhart! Hold up. I'm actually liking where that's going. Okay. Well, next stop, I think we'll... Yeah, Hannemann.
Professor Hannemann, do you have a moment?
Linhart, of course.
Last time we talked, you mentioned the importance of having goals.
Yeah?
I gave it some thought, and in the end, I couldn't find one.
Well, no need to panic. Sometimes a goal can reveal itself to you without warning.
You don't say.
What's your goal, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, mine? I want to create a world where everyone can access the power of crests.
Really?
Where no one has to suffer from having or not having that power.
Now that's an idea. Because, like I said, currently, from my perspective, Edelgard hates crests, right? And I'm assuming she plans to get rid of them and anything associated with them. But what Hannemann is saying, because if in order for Edelgard to do that, she has to eliminate the bloodline of Sothis, which maybe you could say that that's for the best, but honestly, I don't feel like things aren't really good or bad. It just simply is, right? Like, if it's not Crest that people are taking advantage of, it'll be something else. But if, like, I've been so concerned with the borders of Gautier and Gonril with Sreng and Almyra. If you had the opportunity to volunteer to guard the border, and they could bestow the crest so you could use the weapon, I actually like that. I actually really like that. So therefore, who is best suited for the job would take it, but it's without removing the weapons entirely. I mean, you could say that, you know, you don't really need the weapons too, but I like what Hannemann's doing. I like it.
Huh. That's a pretty big dream.
I mean, and even so, like, Annette's hammer, for example, maybe it can be used for construction work. You know, the weapons can be repurposed. Now, the bow, I'm not so sure. You know, I think it would have its uses, but maybe just the leader of the nation gets bestowed, or, not Almyra. I mean, yes, but no. The Alliance gets bestowed the crest of Regan, and they are the defender of the Alliance. I like that.
But then wouldn't you end up studying everyone? In that world, you'd be killing yourself trying to do research on every person alive.
Ah, you may be right. But at least then, we wouldn't be the only ones taking such pains.
True.
The more people who have crests, the more people who will do research.
Also true.
And with more students, the research will progress far faster than it is today.
I mean, somehow, right, Rhea and the others were able to give their crests away. I'm pretty sure, because Flame confirmed, yeah, she didn't have a descendant. So the only way Linhardt could have gotten her crest, and if Rhea founded the Empire, they must have a way to bestow their crest to other people. So, in that case, well, I mean, I guess that's the easiest way to do it. Because then that brings up the whole point of what I was saying earlier. Like, if people find out who Rhea and the others are and what they can do, they'll be targeted for the rest of their lives.
That also means there would be less of the back and forth you don't have the energy for, which should make you happy.
That's also true.
Maybe so.
Does that still do nothing to pique your interest?
To be brutally honest, it would be way less exhausting, but less satisfying as well.
That's fair.
That's like fishing at a market.
Yeah?
So you at least understand that much. That is why I do research. If someone's going to see results someday, then I want it to be me.
I understand that completely.
That's a thought that keeps me moving forward, even when it is difficult to do so.
That sounds like enthusiasm. That's not something I have.
You know, I actually can use this in another game I'm playing. The importance of having a goal and at least making the audience know what that goal is.
But if we work together, I wonder if it would spark that enthusiasm.
Are you saying you would agree to study crests with your old professor?
In the end, I think it would probably be more interesting than fishing alone.
Probably.
I don't even have anyone to show any big fish I catch.
Oh, as it were, I feel very much like someone who's made a catch.
I understand.
But the future shall hold even greater things than that. That's a promise.
I like that. And I like Hanneman's goal. I wonder how it will, or if it will, play into part in Edelgard's route. We'll see. But while we're at it, I'm gonna switch over to Hanuman and Lysithea.
Professor Hannemann, is this a good spot for this book?
That will do nicely, Lysithea. I'm sorry to trouble you with these chores.
I think it's the first time I've heard him say her name.
It's no trouble. After all, it's proper etiquette for the young to help the elderly.
What?
The elderly? I'm only... Never mind. How have you been feeling of late? Anything worth mentioning?
So he's been doing regular checkups on her?
I've been feeling well enough, all things considered.
You seem to be maturing remarkably.
Oh, don't say that.
No doubt your well-being is due to the positive influence of your twin crests working in tandem.
You think?
Here he goes with the positive again. Looks like your research is more useless than I thought.
I may ignore your assaults on my age, but I will not allow unfettered attacks upon my research. What makes you think it's lacking?
It's been a while since I've seen her try to roast somebody, but the professor at that?
Surely you do not deny that your crest-related abilities exceed those of your peers.
I mean, that is true. Like, absolute facts. Because of those, well, not just because of her crests, but, I mean...
You are so far ahead of the others. Even the combined effects of the twin crests you bear do not fully account for that discrepancy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Partly her hard work, and partly her twin crests. So... yeah, and I like how the game is acknowledging, yeah, Lysithea's a beast. Make no mistake, we did that on purpose.
You just can't see beyond the crest, can you? In all your research, haven't you considered that my abilities are a direct result of the effort I put in?
I thought that's what he was saying, though. He said, even the combined efforts of your twin crests you bear do not fully account for that discrepancy. So, in other words, I think he had to have been saying that part of it was Lysithea.
Of course, I am aware that you are a hardworking student, but...
My efforts far exceed those of any other student. I've placed top priority on growing as quickly as possible.
I mean, that is another advantage of having Lysithea. Her personal skill is that she does learn things twice as fast as anybody else.
Is the ability to expend such incredible efforts, to be so focused and driven, is that not a form of talent?
Perhaps you could say that.
It has nothing to do with talent. It's a question of sheer will. I'm determined to succeed, no matter the sacrifice.
I see. But what drives you to such lengths?
Well, I would think the fact that she doesn't have much time left, Hanuman.
I have goals, just like anyone, and precious little time in which to achieve them.
Little time?
You didn't know that?
The people who made me as I am informed me that my life would be drastically shortened as a result.
Oh, I thought I was thinking he was speaking with the knowledge that her life would be shortened as a result. You didn't know.
A person bearing two crests against the will of nature itself. Well, clearly it can't be sustainable.
You see what Lysithea just said there, though? It's against the will of nature itself. Now, granted, I don't think she knows the full truth of how crests are being made, but so far, I don't think anybody else, not even Silthus, has two crests. Especially not the crest of flames and, you know, Araya's crest, I think the most powerful of her children. Like, that's... Edelgard hasn't mentioned it, but she hasn't had a reason to yet, so I'm gonna be listening out carefully if her lifespan is shortened.
As such, I don't indulge in the luxury of fantasizing about the future. I haven't got one.
But that's where I question things, because Edelgard seemed like she'd be able to, like, for the goals Edelgard needs to achieve, she would have to live at least longer than Lysithea is expecting to, because, well, at least that's what I would think.
Knowing all this now, will you still claim that my crests are something positive?
I cannot. Please understand. I had no idea.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
I'll be leaving now.
Lysithea. So that is why you are...
Dang, Hanneman's been finding out stuff like with Dorothea as well, you know. Just pushing a bit further, but I honestly think Lysithea's fate is, you know, you don't have long to live. I don't think you can get much worse than that. I'm not trying to compare. Yeah, let me not compare. All right, I'm not trying to compare at all. They both had it horrible, but just Hanuman as he stumbled onto some truths, and I'm trying to wonder, when did I get the feeling that Lysithea didn't have long to live? I thought that was something in an A rank. Well, I know I got the year confirmed. I think Lysithea was basically saying she could only live to her 30s. Well, on that note, why don't we go to Happy? You know, while the attempts to give Lysithea 2 crests didn't work out as well, I still think if they, you know, gave somebody 1 crest, then it could still work out for the best. Or can I say for the best? The only one I think that's a negative is Happy's crest, and her relic was smelted down, or at least people theorize it was, to make Nemesis' sword, Constance too. Otherwise the two of them would be way too powerful, I'm guessing, but yeah.
That was some good sleep. How nice it is to enjoy the sunrise all by my...
Good. You're finally awake.
Wow.
Ah! Who's that? Oh no, I'm falling. Oh no, I'm emoting. Calm.
You're emoting?
Wait, no! That hurt.
You caught her?
You're telling me? Do you normally start your day by startling people out of trees?
Not normally, no. Sorry, but I couldn't wait.
Wow.
Couldn't wait. It's so early. You must have stayed up all night.
Huh, I suppose I did. How unusual. That's what happens when you get carried away with research.
Yeah, we got a goal in heart.
Then I remembered what we talked about, so I've been waiting here for you to wake up.
Well, here I am, wide awake. How can I help you?
I found an interesting document about Saint Timotheus.
This man needs to stop. He needs to stop.
There are some fascinating things down in that place you and your buddies call home.
Timotheus? That's...
The saint whose major crest you bear. His bloodline was believed to have died out 1,000 years ago.
Okay. Let's see where this is gonna go.
It's theorized that your crest and the crest of Lamine have similar powers. Oh, Lamine was one of the 10 elites.
That's, Mercedes, I think, right? And she had nullifies attack effectiveness and critical hits may have damage. Oh yeah, well that would have helped.
I will take you out so fast
What?
you will not have a chance to lament.
No, okay, now you're making it personal now. There's a crit chance. Alright, Happy. Oh, that would have been an interesting relic.
Here's the best part. Turns out this Timotheus guy had the power to summon beasts.
That's the best part?
I'm listening.
Oh wait, you didn't know that?
Take a look at this passage. The writing's kind of antiquated, but at least it's legible.
Saint Timotheus could converse fluently with birds and land-born beasts, and he considered these creatures his friends.
Can she master her? Oh, I mean, obviously she can master it easily by just controlling when she sighs, but...
He sometimes rode over hills atop an obliging deer, or called wolves to encircle him in battle.
An obliging deer, huh? Or wolves, huh?
His sigh, inflected with the power of the Nightbringer's star, was immensely sonorous.
Nice recitation. So, there you go.
That's just how people from my village write.
They wrote that?
Is that so? Huh. Anyway, this obviously reminded me of you and your situation. You clearly have this same astral power, but to an excessive degree. And for some reason, it only manifests for you when you sigh.
Does that mean you can fix it?
Well, somebody can, and I wouldn't doubt that after a few years he could.
Oh goodness, no. Or I should say, it's unlikely. There's next to no documentation about this stuff. And I don't know nearly enough about the other crests either. And Timotheus, again, nothing to go on. It's near impossible to unravel, so don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm good at keeping my expectations nice and low.
That's it? Well, now that's interesting. So according to Linhart, the world of Foltland is aware of the other saints. So what's the explanation for them? Well, they're saints, right? Not the 10 elites, so then I'm just now realizing then it must be known that they got their crest from saints. But then, because he mentioned being a direct descendant of Flame versus not being a direct descendant. What would that look like in his terms? Because in theory, wouldn't everybody who had that crest be a direct descendant? Like, how would you get the crest otherwise? That's interesting. Well, that's pretty much all of Linhart's I think I can get. Well, I probably could still get Annette's. I think Catherine is missing, or no, is Catherine? Well, anyways. Yeah. I can try to get Annette's B. I might get Annette's B before this is over. We'll see. Now, oh yeah, something I gotta show you all. First, since we just saw their rank. Linhart and Happy. Check this out.
Usually the atmosphere in the dining hall kind of bums me out, but with you two, I think I'll be okay.
None of us are great at reading a room. Isn't that right, Professor?
Now that they've gotten a higher rank, their conversation changed. And not just them. I did not expect this to happen. Of all the pairings,
There's no one I'd rather eat with than the Professor and Alois.
what the heck? Since when?
Hear, hear. This old chair keeps creaking. I fear it's on its last legs. Ha!
And that's before they got their rank. So you want to tell me why these two got a rank? Or, you know, what's so special?
Okay, I must drop off these papers with Bernadetta. I'm not sure how to go about this. She's as timid as a mouse, and that's when speaking to people her own age.
Yeah?
She'll likely scream the second she sees me. Maybe this is a mistake. All that noise is going to frighten the other students.
Hi. Can I help you?
What the heck?
Ah, hello. I owe some business with Bernadetta. I wasn't sure how to approach her.
She just came up to him?
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but okay. What business do you have with Bernie?
I was supposed to deliver this, you see. Perhaps you can take it off my hands?
Alois, you do know who you're talking to, right?
Right. Thanks for taking the time.
No trouble at all. Here it is.
Alois?
Thanks. I'm going to head in now if that's okay.
Whew, that's quite a relief.
How
How kind of Bernadetta's friend, making that delivery for me.
What? What?
Wait a second. That was Bernadetta. But it couldn't have been. She spoke so normally.
Yeah, what's going on?
She didn't act frightened at all. In fact, she was quite friendly.
Like, if I had gotten this post time skip, I would have been very suspicious. Or,
Ouch!
Oh, yes, it still hurts when I pinch my cheek, so I'm not dreaming. I'm glad the ordeal's done with, but now I feel terribly confused and a little worried.
Does she know you? She has to.
Meek little Bernadetta, what have they done to you?
What on earth? I didn't expect that. Huh. Alright. And it looks like the rest are with Ferdinand. Interesting. Alright. We'll start with Mercedes and then work our way down.
Come on, sell it to me!
Huh? What's going on here? Hey, stop that! Can't you see he's not interested?
Just talking business here, now move it along!
Alright.
Oh, I just thought it looked a little... Actually, now I'm curious. What kind of business are you conducting? I've been told I have a keen eye for appraisal.
Oh, really?
Just trying to buy a sword. I told him to name his price, but he won't give it up.
Any price? You must be able to afford anything your heart desires.
Yeah.
But did you consider that he might have a good reason not to sell it? Maybe it's a family heirloom, or simply his favorite sword.
No one asked for your appraisal, now move it! Or are you looking for trouble?
That is kind of, you know, it has the energy of, you know, minding your own business.
That is quite enough. You would dare threaten a woman? I will not permit such ungentlemanly conduct.
Oh, hello, Ferdinand. Do you have an opinion on all this?
Well, he is good with weapons.
Behind me, milady. I will protect you.
Wow.
Who are you? You looking for trouble too?
Keep your distance, gutless knave.
Oh!
I just cleaned my sword, and if I maim you, I will have to clean it again.
Yo, Ferdinand, you don't have to go that far, bro.
Neither of us wants that, so I suggest you leave at once.
Ah, forget it. You're not worth my time.
I think he washed you.
Ah, thank you so much. You saved me there.
Wait, were you the one with the sword? Like, who owns the sword?
Well, that is taken care of. Are you hurt, Mercedes?
Hurt? No, I'm fine. We were only talking.
Yeah, I didn't think it would get to blows.
Ah, I am glad. I do not abide uncouth behavior. Stopping it is my duty as a noble.
Right. Wait, what? That's it? Okay, well that was weird. Now, Lawrence?
That reminds me, Ferdinand. I wonder if a certain rumor has already reached your ears.
I suspect I know what you are referring to. A certain noble who caused a stir at one of the local taverns, correct?
Was it you?
For someone of status to make such a scene. What a disgrace.
I thought just the same.
Oh no!
A noble ought to hold himself to a higher standard. It is hardly appropriate to drink and mingle with a tavern full of commoners.
Oh, that is not quite what I meant.
And here we go. Exactly what I was talking about. How I feel like Ferdinand was much less of a obsession with nobles than Lawrence was.
I do not object to a noble patronizing their local establishments. In fact, I would say such excursions have value.
Indeed.
Is that so? I would be very curious to hear what value you mean exactly. But allow me first to venture a guess. Is it that you suppose it is proper for a noble to bolster a town's wealth with his patronage?
No, I don't think so.
If that is your thinking, then I would counter that whatever one adds to a merchant's coffers seldom makes it to the pockets of the townsfolk.
Possibly.
I think that if a noble wishes to use his resources to ease the burdens of the commoners, he ought to go about town and spend it more directly.
That is true.
That is wonderfully insightful, Lawrence. Albeit not what I had in mind.
And that's what I thought.
What I meant was this. We can benefit from crossing the threshold and learning more about regular folk.
Yeah.
We scarcely understand the reality of their lives. In turn, they do not know about us. I have heard that some believe we have horns growing from our heads.
Now, who told you that?
It is an embarrassing and potentially perilous state of affairs.
Potentially perilous. Interesting that you mentioned that, Ferdinand, especially considering your father. and at least what happens in other routes besides the Black Eagle route.
You are quite right.
And that's actually something I've been wanting to mention as well. But I'm not sure when would be a good time to mention it. I guess I can try now. I always thought that, you know, it's a sign of bad leadership, definitely, if your people revolt. I was wondering if any other area was getting to the point where the people would revolt. I mean, realistically speaking, I guess that's what the kingdom did, right? Albeit they had a guiding hand in the Agarthans, but still. So, I guess you could say that revolts were in the kingdom and the empire. Or at least, they were brewing in the empire. But it's only because of... Well, in the kingdom, I think it's the worst because it was literally the king that they were upset with. I gotta think about that.
In fact, that reminds me of something a boy once said to me when I visited a village on my family's territory. He actually asked me if I had a tail. Hilarious.
We all need a laugh now and then.
I suppose.
As a man of status, I feel it is my calling to right the world's wrongs. But there's only so much I can do alone.
Absolutely.
Working in tandem, though, you and I could make tremendous accomplishments.
Absolutely.
My sentiments exactly. Together we could achieve a great deal. Though the circumstances of birth may have placed one of us in the Empire and the other in the Alliance, we can still study and fight together.
Yeah. You know, until Edelgard declares war.
Yes, precisely. Together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. By the way, Lawrence, do you have a tail?
Why would you ask that? It's just a joke. I got it. Just yet again, I recently uploaded a video where I was saying, you know, well, the end of it was like fighting in Fulton was inevitable. That's contextualized because I can't help but feel like, understand, the children of nearly every major noble house are all here in one place. It seems like peace could be on the horizon, you know? And yet war happens. I can't help but feel it's to show a tragedy, not that war was the answer, but rather war is just what was going to happen. Anyways, that's just what I've been thinking about. But, okay. 2 more with Ferdinand, Marianne, and then the big one.
Marianne, are you not going to pray?
I finished. What is it?
I just wanted to apologize.
It's fine, Ferdinand. You did nothing wrong.
Last time we spoke, I did not quite finish saying what I wanted to say.
That is true, you did stop.
You say I did nothing wrong, so perhaps you will hear me out this time?
Okay.
Very well. What is it?
Rather than mourning the way things are, is it not better to accept reality and move forward from there?
That's hard to do for some, though.
Accept and move forward?
Precisely. You curse your heritage and reject your present situation. That makes you gloomy, even despairing. As long as you are held back by that way of thinking, nothing is ever going to change.
What about you? Do you really believe that you accept whatever comes in life?
Huh, now is this foreshadowing?
I do. Come what may, I will never falter.
Well, that is true. He still seemed in high spirits when we saw him 5 years later.
How?
Well, each person is born with a purpose. We must fulfill that purpose, no matter our circumstances. It imbues our lives with meaning and direction.
Well, I'm not so sure if you can say everyone is born with a purpose. Some people feel like they go their whole lives never finding their purpose.
That is what I believe, anyway. Everyone has something they are meant to accomplish. That is true for nobles, commoners, even bandits.
Now that I can agree with, because I even felt sometimes your purpose might just be to be an example for others, you know? So that others don't go through the same mistakes you did. Then you can help show them the right way forward, and therefore your life still has meaning.
I see. So that's what you believe. Do you really think it's possible that someone like me has a purpose to fulfill?
And Marianne had a massive purpose.
Yes, of course.
I keep thinking the battle between me and Claude and Nemesis was just the three of us, but nah, Marianne was in the background making sure the two of us could stay in there.
Oh. I'll give this some serious thought. Thank you, Ferdinand. Your words have deeply moved me.
Is that so? How wonderful. I will pray that you find the answers you seek.
I really like Ferdinand's character, and Linhart. There's so many good characters in here. I feel like this will be the last support I do. The last support before we go on to Edelgard's route. I mean, I'll save the rest for later. It's only fitting I end it
Ferdinand, there you are.
with these two.
Stay back, Hilda. I will no longer entertain your clever little requests. Your wiles will not work this time.
You shouldn't yell at a noble maiden. It's a no-no, etiquette-wise.
Of course, you're the one to talk about that.
By way of an apology, you may brew me some tea.
Heck, Ferdinand, don't you fall for that.
I am sorry to have offended you, but delightful as it sounds, I will not be brewing any tea at present.
Okay, all right.
Besides, I taught you how to do it before. You should be able to do it on your own, so why don't you?
There we go.
You did show me how to do it, but I can't do it as well as you.
And practice makes perfect.
And why not?
You selected just the right leaves, and you boiled them just right. You even considered the room temperature and humidity.
Uh-huh.
Then you set out just the right pot along with just the right cups. You immediately picked out a design that you knew I would like.
So you're aware of that?
When you poured, the temperature, the timing, and the technique were all impeccable.
Uh-huh.
You seem to know an awful lot about tea for someone who cannot even pour it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, not really.
Wow.
Maybe I picked up a couple things from watching you.
There you go. There you go, Ferdinand. You got the hook? Now reel it in.
Even the sound of the liquid pouring into the cups was like music.
Really?
Taken as a whole, it was an almost spiritual experience. A symphony for the senses.
Yo, Hilda, you gotta be stopped.
I was just making tea in the traditional fashion.
Oh, I'm so flustered I'm not getting my point across. I'm trying to say that your tea is like love.
You have got to be kidding me.
You're devoted to bringing happiness to those who drink it. I could taste that from the first drop.
Hilda, you doing all this so you can fix you some tea?
Well, when serving another, one must put in a little bit of love. But I must say, you surprise me. Not many are so attentive to the finer points of tea.
Well, yeah. Don't forget, she's a noble too.
I made quite the impression on you. Perhaps I ought to pour you
No,
another cup.
do not give in.
Really? Oh, thank you, Ferdinand.
All right.
I shall find us a suitable brew. Wait here a moment.
All right, bruh.
Wow. Oh, Ferdinand. So simple, and yet so kind.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, she fits perfectly as Claude's second in command. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. All right. And it's like Cynthia's birthday right before we go there. Yeah. That's gonna do it. I get the feeling when we go there, we make the choice beforehand, and then, because I wouldn't see the sense in Edelgard fighting, because Edelgard says after the festival she was returning to the Empire. So regardless, this was always supposed to be her last plan. And the next month they were going to invade. That makes sense too. So we literally found out far too late, because one way or the other, I mean, it gave us 2 weeks to prepare, but like I said, it wasn't enough time. I think by the time I also see it, I would have seen people's response to my response to Edelgard and Kranya. So that's it. I think nothing else can help determine on if I'm going to make the choice or not, besides the day itself. So, but man, that's a good last support to end off on before we go to the post time skip. So, with that being said, honestly, let me just talk to you guys for a second. I am incredibly nervous about this decision. I feel like either choice I make, it's gonna be hard. Whether I decide to do both of them or whether I decide to do one or the other, part of me wants to just say, maybe I should just stop here. We're all good, but no, we're moving forward. And I think I know what I'm going to choose. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. And now it is time for the question of the day. This is the last episode before I make the decision, and so I kind of want to ask 2 questions. The first one, I'm going to go with the classic. What was your favorite support this episode? Because I just felt there were a lot of good supports that I felt were in this episode that were cross-house, and I still really enjoyed them. And then the second, I'm not sure if I'm actually labeling this as a question of the day or not, but I'm curious to see what people think I chose, because I'm going to tell you right now, I already made my decision by the time this episode's going up, so I'm curious to see what you all think I chose before we actually get to the episode. So, with that being said, please post your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you all for the choice next time.